You just gotta be driven. You gotta be motivated. You gotta be hungry. You gotta be teachable, and you gotta be coachable. You need to be willing to do what others are not, so you can have what others don't. You need to stand out from the crowd. You've got to be hungry, motivated, and driven. But more importantly, guys, you need to have a big reason why. As to why you really want to succeed, why you want to win in this. And it can't just be about things like, oh, I want a car, I want a house, I want to go on holiday, and I want to leave my job. These things are all great. But your why has to be bigger than you. It can't be about you. And look, your why has to make you cry. You need to be thinking about it 24/7, because when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. So, because look, most people have quit on themselves time and time again. When things get tough and it's awkward and people say no and you're not figuring it out, the most easiest thing to do is quit. People take the path of least resistance. But when it's not about you and it's about somebody else, and you're doing this for somebody else, maybe one of your loved ones. Like for me, I just saw my dad work day in, day out for many years. And you know what's crazy, and I swear to you, it used to make me cry so much, man, because I really wanted to make a difference in my family's lives. I really wanted to help my dad, and I couldn't. I really couldn't, and I struggle. I struggle learning. I'll be open with you. I really do struggle in learning and developing, and I sometimes have to go over things multiple times. And for me, one of the greatest lessons I had was have a big reason why. And my reason why, as my mentor said, it can't be about you. It has to be bigger than you. And for me, it was my dad. My dad was my reason why. I wanted to retire him. I remember, seeing people retire their parents and seeing testimonials that, they've gone up to their parents and said that you never ever have to work a day in your life again. And, they've replaced their parents' incomes. And I really wanted to do that. And I wanted to give back to my parents, because you hear all these stories about, people, people's parents doing so much for you when you're young, but when you're older, how much are you doing for your parents when they're old? And for me, I wanted to give back to my family. I wanted to give back to my siblings, and I wanted to retire my dad. And I made it a goal, and I really absorbed myself with it. I wrote it everywhere. I made it. I made posters. I did everything, and I put it in my phone. And I swear to you, I locked off everything. And sometimes you've got to be a bit insane, guys. And I was so focused in retiring my dad and giving him the things that he wanted. And my parents, I put aside everything. I locked off everything, and I honed in on retiring him and I remember I only had to make £2,000 extra a month to give to him, and he had covered all the bills. It would cover all the bills and give him some extra money at the end of the month. And I remember coming across Grant Cardone, and Grant Cardone, he said to us that if you haven't heard already, his 10x rule: 10x all your goals. It takes the same amount of effort to earn and achieve a 10x goal, so a 10 times goal, as opposed to that smaller goal. And I was like, right, I want to make $2,000 a month. I only wanted to make $2,000 a month, and what this guy's telling me to make $20,000 a month. I couldn't even comprehend $20,000 a year, because I hadn't earned it in a year. And this guy's telling me to turn my £2,000 goal into $20,000 whatever it was. But again, what do I tell you guys? To be coachable. I was like, right, I'm going to be coachable. I didn't even understand what he meant or anything. I was like, all right, $2,000 into $20,000. And I remember visualizing everything. Brian Tracy said, write your goals down. Put it somewhere where you see it every single day. And that's what I did. I made a poster. I put it on my bedroom door that I saw at least 3-4 times a day. And it reminded me of my goal. And then my other poster was, retire dad, your reason why. My why, retire dad. So these were the things that I had constantly been seeing every single day. Retire dad, $20,000 a month. Retire dad, $20,000 a month. That's all I was seeing. And lo and behold, it's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. I remember writing that 20 grand a month go down. I had no idea, like no idea. I didn't even believe I could make 20 grand in a month. But the moment, and it's crazy, man, but the moment you set those high goals and you aim high, your mind, because look, your mind has to go where you want to go first, and then your body follows. So I just, and it took me time. It took me a few months. I'd say it probably took me over a year to start genuinely conditioning myself and believing that, hey, I can make 20 grand a month. Yeah, I want to make 20 grand a month, 20 grand a month, 20 grand a month. How to make 20 grand a month? What do I have to do? What do I have to sell? What do I have to close? And I consistently was doing it. And then I was looking, okay, I need to close this and I need to do that and I need to do this. And for the first year, I didn't know any of this, but we learn through trial and error. Like I said, your mind needs to go first, and then everything else will match up and will map out and everything. And look, now when I say, I see when and sometimes I have to remind myself, man, and I have to humble myself when I've made like in and around 20 grand, in one payment or whatever. And I have to remind myself that at one point in my life, that was a goal that was far beyond what I could even fathom in a whole year, let alone in a whole month. And like, look, right now, my goals are huge. Like, I want to do millions. I genuinely want to do millions a year. Millions. There's so much. But look, guys, I don't want to keep rambling on. That's just, a bit about... my take on things. Hope you found loads of value. Please like and subscribe, follow the movement, and be watching out for the next video. Any comments, just leave them below.